Hello everyone, hope all of you are safe and healthy. No matter how many hours you would have put in, how many revisions you would have done, how many tests you would have taken, if you're not able to handle those two crucial hours confidently and calmly, and if you're not able to put in your presence of mind and common sense into play, then simply you will be wasting one whole year. So in today's video, I'll be discussing all the practical aspects that you should look into on the D-Day of the exam, and most importantly, the mindset that you should carry forward into the exam hall, and even the entire day from morning 9 till 4:30. So that is what I'll be stressing on. So instead of taking the normal do's and don'ts on the day of the exam, I would be emphasizing here with the routine of a student so that you can easily relate to and you can connect to, right? So the conditioning of the mindset happens one day before the exam itself, especially the night before the exam. Make sure that you have adequate sleep. I can completely understand the emotions that you must be going through, and you might not feel like sleeping, but whatever it is, make sure that the lights are switched off, and you can listen to soft music, put an alarm, or ask your parents to wake you up. At the very next morning, the other important hygiene factor that you should look into is, please don't miss your breakfast. Even if it is light food like milk, fruits, egg, whatever it is, make sure that you have it so that your mind is very active during those crucial hours. And most importantly, take your blessings of your parents, because all this will give you that positivity, and that positivity should be carried forward for into the exam hall. The other things that you should make sure is be in the exam center half an hour before the exam commences. That is 9:30 the exam commences. You have to be there by 9 a.m. and especially for people who are new, students who are new to the city, make sure that you have visited that place so that no last minute hiccups happen. All this matters. And please may take your all ticket, your two black ball pens, then your ID proof, and even two passport size photo, because you know how terrible we look in our ID proofs, right? You know that, be it in Aadhaar or any license for that matter. So on the safer side, just take it forward so that it proves that it is you who is giving the exam. And also carry a bottle so that every time your mind gets strained, you need to sip water, and mind becomes, and you need to rejuvenate your brain with that. And also mask, right? Make sure that you wear a mask wherein you can breathe easily. Especially a surgical mask would be an ideal thing. And for people who are wearing specs, right, when they breathe in and breathe out, a fog creates on the glasses. So all that you should be aware of, so that slightly pull down your mask or wear a mask which is easily breathable. Now coming to the mindset that you should have before the exam starts. So please don't go with any preconceived notions. It can be regarding the cutoff, or it can be thinking that just because you have focused more on the static or probably polity or geography, that questions should come from that. It never happens like that. Should always go with an open mindset. So then you can receive things and do really well, right? And coming to cutoffs, if you ask me how many number of questions to attempt, see, if you look at the cutoffs, it was 87.5, the least one in UPSC history, or even 92.5 before that, and 98 and 98. So if you look at the last 4 years, the average cutoff was around 94. So so obviously 47 should be the net score. But having said that, the cutoffs depends on two factors. One is the difficulty level of the question paper on that year, and the relative performance of all of the students. So please don't go with any preconceived notions. But if you insist and ask me how many minimum number of questions to attempt, I would say at least 65 to 70 questions should be attempted minimum. So see, even the most brilliant of the lot or most well-read person will be able to attempt around 35 to 45 at the max, where he or she is 100% sure. The remaining questions that he or she attempts is all comes under the second category, where 50-50 chances, either A or B or C or D, something like that. So I would advise you to take that risk. At least try to take, say out of 20 questions, at least attempt 14 or 15 questions where you have that 50-50 chances, because you need to attempt, because the number of questions at the end of the day at least should be minimum 65. And the next range of questions would be 75-25, wherein one options you are able to eliminate, but you are not able to eliminate the other three options. So again, it depends on the number of attempts you have made, and if you think that it is safer for you, or you are ready to take that risk again, you can take up questions from that as well. So in the first round, obviously you will be going through all the 100 questions, you are very sure. In the second round, these are the questions that you need to look into, right? And depending on the difficulty level of the paper, the number of questions to be attempted, as I've told you time and again, and minimum, if you ask me, as I said, 65 at least minimum. Now at 9:30, make sure that when the OMR sheet is given, all the fields are filled appropriately, be it your roll number, be it the center code, be it the question code, all that. So this is one part of it. And also make sure that your attendance sheet, you are signing at the right place, and your question paper, question code, all that is verified, is the same as that is in your all ticket. Because see, all these things, though these are very basic things, these things do matter, because some students have missed just because of these silly mistakes, right? And also make sure that your roll number and the number that is written on your desk are matching, because you get the series either A, B, C, D based on your roll number. So make sure that all that is taken care. Once you start solving the question paper, gaining the big momentum becomes very important. This is the mindset that becomes important here. So once you get the paper, make sure that the first 2-3 minutes just skim through the question, so that you will get a fair idea on whether it is focused on current affairs or static, and if it is static, whether it is with subject, history or geography or polity, whatever subject it might be. And it might so happen that sometimes you might get a series wherein it is starting from ancient history, medieval history or science and tech. So that should not deter your confidence. You might not be able to get the first 4 questions, 5 questions. All that this exam requires is a few questions wherein you can get it right consecutively. That will build your confidence to the next level. So if not from the first question, go to the 100 question, 100, 99, 98 or 51, 52, 53, whatever it is, wherever you can get confidence. That gaining the momentum plays a very important role, because at the end of the day, this exam is a game of confidence. And the other important thing that you need to understand is, you need to go through all the questions, all the 100 questions, and take one question at a time. Just like when Virat Kohli was interviewed, he was asked what is the difference between the consistent Virat Kohli now and the Virat Kohli who entered the game of cricket. How can this Virat Kohli be so successful? So he simply said that I used to focus on the crowd before, and now I focus on the ball. The crowd here it can be your parents, your friends, your mentors, your relatives, whatever it is, right? So the focus should not be on them, or even the results for that matter. The focus should be on the question. So take the question, take one ball at a time and play the ball based on the merit of the ball. Similarly here, take the question and answer it based on the merit. You can leave you should know which question to leave, which question to defense, which question to hit for a 4 or 6. Similarly here, you need to know which question to leave and which question to attempt. That plays a very important role here. And don't fill the OMR sheet at the end. So I've seen some of the students doing it, keeping 10 minutes, last 10 minutes or 15 minutes to filling the OMR sheet. Please never do that. The many students who have faltered, what you can do is, either you, as soon as you mark the question 1, you can mark it on the OMR sheet, right? Or you can attempt, you can go through the first, in a paper there'll be 3 to 4 questions, so you can go through them and transfer it then and there itself, all the 3 or 4 questions together. So that you can follow. The other things that happen, practically these things happen wherein you are attempting, you are in the 5th or 6th question or 10th question, wherein the invigilator will come and ask you to sign your attendance. See, these are times where you can get agitated, or there'll be times where the invigilators are standing in the corridor or in the door itself and speaking. All this can create disturbances, right? I do understand, because even I've been through it. If you're really feeling that is creating a distraction, please stand up and be assertive. Tell them that, ma'am, please, this is disturbing us. So they'll definitely understand. So all these things happen. It's all about, see, these are small things that happen. It's all about how do you see things, whether you're focusing on that or whether you're focusing on the questions which is in front of you. Clear? And make sure that all the 100 questions you go through it. Whether you know or do not know, please go through all the 100 questions. Especially what happens is, when the questions are big, right, students just tend to just skip that. So actually many a times, when you read through the question, the answer is within the question itself or within the options that is given. So please make sure that you at least read through all the questions. And also, there's other set of people, what they do is, in the last 5 minutes, they are in the 60th or 65 questions they would have attempted. So somebody has told at least minimum so and so has to be answered. So what they do is, for the next 10 questions, they just mark BBB or CCC or DDT, right? So it does not work like that. It's simply called stupidity, right? So please don't do that. And also, don't get overwhelmed or feel low while attempting the question. That also plays a very important role here. because it so happens that you get your favorite subject. It can be your geography, it can be polity, and you get so overconfident that you don't read the complete sentence. Just in 5 seconds you just read the question, and without even reading the options you mark it. So all these things happen. Please don't get overwhelmed in that situation, or even don't feel low when the questions, more of it, are from ancient or medieval or certain gray areas like that, right? Because if you're a sincere aspirant and if it is difficult for you, obviously you need to believe and tell yourself that it will be difficult for every other aspirant who is giving the exam. So this mindset, managing your emotions becomes very important during the those 2 crucial hours. Right, now coming to 11:30 to 2:30, the break time. So how should your mindset be during these hours? These 3 crucial hours can make or break, right? Because especially in the CSAT, the confidence that you can carry forward. What happens usually is, if at all you have not performed well, or your performance is like on the borderline, what happens is you come out negative. And especially when there'll be 2 sets of people here. One student comes out and says, okay, shit, what a easy paper it was. How the hell UPSC can give such an easy paper, right? I was able to solve it in 1.5 hours. And just imagine if you happen to stand just beside that person, and if you overhear that person, what will happen to your confidence, right? So, or there's another set of people wherein, especially it happens within our friends, that okay, he or she also says that okay, Chacha, I have also not performed well. So what happens is that victim role, you will connect with that person easily. You also think, okay, I have also not performed well, but at the end of the day, when the results come, your friend would have cleared. So all these small comedies, it keeps happening. So that is why I say emotional intelligence and mindset becomes very important. You need to accept the reality. This is how human beings behave, right? You need to accept that, and it's all about yourself. As I've told even in my previous video, this exam is all about yourself. Just the focus should be only within you and only on you. Clear? And what you can do is, in these 3 hours, as I said, have lunch, you can take a nap, or the other thing you can do is, some students have these formulas, they just want to go through it. Keep it very light so that your mind is very clear, it doesn't get agitated, all that, right? Especially for CSAT, that is very crucial, maintaining your calmness. And now from 2:30 to 4:30, these 2 crucial hours, CSAT, which is an Achilles heel to many students, right? Your composure, calmness again plays a very important role. Apart from that, some students come to me saying that okay, I'm very good in passages, comprehension, I'll attempt that first, or I'm very good in maths, I'll attempt that. I would suggest that go with the same pattern of the order or chronology of questions given in the CSAT paper. See, unlike other competitive papers in UPSC, we have like say 3 questions are from passages, 2 questions are from aptitude, the next 2 questions are from logical reasoning. That is how it is mixed up. So what you have to understand is, there are tough questions, there are easy questions in all the 3 areas, right? Be it aptitude, logical reasoning, or comprehension. So you have to go with the same order. So whichever easy questions, you have to pick it up so that at least you clear the cutoff. That should be the major focus here. Clear? And the other thing that can play a spoil sport in CSAT, especially this happens with engineers who usually think, even I'm an engineer for that matter, who usually think we are really good in maths, and we get stuck with one question and we'll make sure that we solve that question even if it takes 5 or 10 minutes. That is a really bad strategy. You should be wise enough. It's not, you need to understand that you don't have to be a topper. All that you have to do is clear the cutoff. And especially in CSAT, it is just a qualifying paper. So please keep this in mind. I can completely empathize. I can understand the range of emotions that you must be going through now. See, even if a topper, or even if I have to sit for the exam, we would be going through the same emotions. Believe me, trust me, it is very common to all of us. All that you have to understand is, you need to accept it. You need to let your thoughts pass through you instead of suppressing it, right? And in the exam hall, or even before going to it, if you're feeling a little anxious or fear, which is quite common again, try out this breathing exercise. Breathe in for 5 seconds, hold it for 5 seconds, and breathe out for 5 seconds. This will do a lot of good for you. Believe me, it will calm your nerves to a great extent, right? And on an ending note, I would like to say that believe in yourself, trust in yourself. You know more than what you think you do. That's how the mind works. That's how beautiful the mind is. All that you have to do is, you have to believe in yourself, because this prelims is all about identifying the right answer. And on that day and that moment, if you have that trust in yourself, you can recollect many things that you have read, right? So if not for you, who else will crack this exam? Go with that mindset and have fun. You will definitely do well, and all the best. Thank you.